Oh, okay.
Hello. Today on Straight Talking with Kelly, we're talking craftsmanship, creativity, and turning raw materials into something unforgettable. My guest, Linda Smith, known as, is it Artisan Girl?
Yeah, Artisan Girl.
Artisan Girl is the force behind Nina Ross, a San Francisco-based brand creating wearable art that's built to last. For decades, she's honed her skills in wire work, resin-based bead making, Lord have mercy, resin bead
Yeah,
making, resin bead
resin based.
making,
Uh-huh.
and gemstone setting techniques
Mhm.
that require patience, precision, and a serious love for this craft. We'll dive into how she has transformed an ideal into a finished piece, the tools and techniques that keep her design strong and unique, and the lessons she's learned building a business from the ground up. Whether you're into jewelry, design, or simply creating something with your own two hands, you're going to love this conversation. So let's welcome Linda Smith.
Linda Marie, thank you.
Linda Marie Smith. I'm sorry, Linda
Yes,
Marie.
yes, Linda
So,
Marie.
Linda Marie, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Kelly.
So, Linda, before we find out a little bit more about your creative process
Mhm.
with jewelry making, let's
Mhm.
walk down memory lane and tell
Okay.
people how we know each other.
Oh,
So I grew up with Linda. Linda
yeah.
and I have grown up together.
Yes, we have.
We've done a whole bunch of things together. She's taught
Yes.
me how to do yoga. She taught me about fashion. As a matter of fact, when you see her logo, Nina Ross, you'll notice that it's in small letters. And let me tell you something about how that came about. She and I watched this movie called Street
Yes.
with
Yes.
Gavin McLeod. Was that his name?
Uh, um, Gavin, I know it was Gavin something.
Gavin something. And who was
Yeah.
the lady? And was the lady
Was it Lana Turner or
Lana
Susan
Turner? Lana
Hayden? I
Turner
don't,
and Gavin,
okay.
I don't know why I call him McLeod, but
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah.
Backstreet is the name of the movie. She
Yeah,
was a
right.
fashion designer and
Hmm.
she signed her name in small letters. And
Yeah.
Linda and I promised each other when we became fashion designers, we were going to do that.
Yeah.
So in my baby line, I also use small letters. And so
Hmm.
for her to, we kept our promise to each other.
Yeah, we
I
did.
think that is pretty cool, right?
Right, right. Oh yeah.
And then to furthermore, Linda's mother and my mother are sisters.
Right.
So we're first cousins.
Yeah.
So that's why we grew up so closely together.
Exactly. Exactly.
So Linda, let's find out a little bit about your background in terms of where you were born and raised and the schools you attended. Would you like to share that with us, please?
Yeah, yeah. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and I was what is called a cradle Catholic. So I was baptized in the Catholic Church, went to Catholic school from kindergarten until I was sophomore in high school.
Okay.
And I'm the oldest of three and the only girl of my mother and father's. And growing up in the Catholic in Catholic school, I had the opportunity when I was like in junior high and then also in high school, we would make rosaries, and those are the prayer beads, and we would we'd have time off to do that during class time. And I always jumped in and volunteered to do that. And once those rosaries were made, they would pack them off to missionaries over in Asia or Africa or whatever. So anyway, while making this, I would hold them up and think, oh, this would make a nice necklace. But I was just joking around, and I got the laughs from the classroom and that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then I just forgot all about it. That was just something I did at school. Then we moved to here to San Francisco when I was 16. Yeah, when I was 16. And I took fashion illustration and silk screening because I was an artist. I consider myself an artist. I
Absolutely.
had been drawing since I was a toddler. And there was one place that I went on Market Street, Bedazzle, and they had lots of design, jewelry, tools, and beads and whatever. And because I was wearing my hair in the afro, I made some big hoop earrings. And I think I only made a few pair But that didn't spur me to, just to keep making jewelry. I just made the 3 pair and that was it. Forgot all about jewelry making. Okay, and then after St. Mark's, oh, back in St. Louis, St. Mark's, then I went to Sumner for about, that was a public school because I was sick of Catholic school. So that was for about a year, and then we moved out here. I went to George Washington High School, and then from George Washington, I went to City College, and then transferred from City to San Francisco State. And my major at San Francisco State, I did a double major. So I did liberal arts and finance. And that was challenging. That was very
Okay, of course.
challenging. I bit off more than I could chew.
Yeah.
But anyway, after San Francisco State, I went to the Academy of Art College here in San Francisco. And I took up just fine arts. So
Okay.
that kind of included everything.
Okay.
After that, what did I do? Oh, I worked at a bank in corporate banking. And from corporate banking, I smoked a lot. I was like a 2 pack a day smoker, almost at 3 packs.
Wow.
And after a while, I decided, you know what? If I stop smoking, I'm going to do this cold turkey, but I've got to figure out a way to be creative with my hands, to be able to do something creative. And I thought of painting and still drawing, but then I thought, no, that's not going to work out. That's too messy. So I thought of, hey, you know what? I used to make rosaries. I could make jewelry. And that would be a nice, serious hobby. So I decided to do that. So that's basically, my
And that,
background.
you know what, and that was my next question to you
Mm.
is what inspired you to start, the handcrafting, but it was the cigarette smoking,
Yeah, yeah.
stopping the
Stop. Yeah.
cigarette smoking.
Stop smoking.
So now, can you walk us through your design process from concept to finish? What is that like? How do you get started with that?
Yeah, usually,
Oh, wait a minute. Before you answer that, answer
mm,
this first.
what's that?
Do you see jewelry making as more of an art form or storytelling?
I have to be honest. It's really, to me, it's an art form,
Okay.
but it's something it's strictly an art form that you wear. So that's why I really always emphasize I do wearable art.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
There you go. Okay.
yeah,
So
that's
now let's go back to that question was
mm.
walking us through your design process and your concept to a finished piece.
Yeah, I use sketching. Sketching is
Okay.
something that I do, and I have a sketchbook with all of my designs and templates of how my wire is going to work and that type of thing. And it's not, I understand it. If you looked at it, you'd probably say, "What is this?" So it's kind of certain things that are left out that that are just basic to me.
Okay.
So I usually sketch something, and then I also, when it comes to the different mediums like beads or wire or whatever, I kind of sometimes you have to kind of let that determine how your design is going to go.
Okay.
First of all, you decide, am I going to make a ring? Am I going to make a necklace? Am I going to make earrings? And
Okay.
that kind of, you know what the proportions are. As short as I am, I love big, bold things, but
I'm looking at your necklace right now
yeah,
when
this
you
is
said
old.
that.
This is about,
Hold it up a little bit because I can just
yeah,
see
this
part
is
of it.
about
Hold it up like this
oh yeah.
because I can bear. Oh, wow. That's so
Yeah,
beautiful.
this is about 15 years old.
And what kind of stones are those?
The stone in the middle is chalcedony,
Okay.
and it's just a smooth stone, but it didn't have holes in it.
Okay.
So then I had to figure out, when I actually did this one, well, how am I going to get it into a necklace? So I
Ah, okay.
crocheted wire around it. That's what this is.
Okay.
And there's a certain technique that I use, which is a trade secret.
Hey, I know
But
that.
and then the beads here that are hanging, this is resin clay and it has to be
Okay.
baked. It's
Okay.
molded and you
Also, and you shape those yourself.
yeah, I shape these myself. Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah. And then
beautiful.
the little coil beads, I make those with wire.
Okay.
So that's what this is.
Now, how long will something like that take?
A long time. It
Okay.
takes
Okay.
weeks. It
Okay.
takes weeks
Okay.
because this did simply because I had the idea of what it was going to be. And I call this piece, I actually have a name for this piece. It's called Nautilus because it looks like to me, it looks like an octopus. It has the blue,
Ah, okay.
like ocean, it's
Okay.
oceanic looking, so.
Okay. Now
But
that's where the storytelling comes in.
yeah, yeah, but not all my pieces are like that. I
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
yeah,
But
but
that's
that
really, really
this way, and
something.
this is mine. I don't mass produce this. I wouldn't
Okay.
be. I could probably make it over again, but this is just from my collection.
So now, which tools or materials are absolutely essential in your workshop and why?
Uh, Pliers.
You said,
Pliers are eccentric. Yeah,
okay.
pliers. Flat nose pliers,
Oh, you said
round.
pliers. I thought you said wires, but you said
No, no, and wire.
fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
wire. Yeah, but the tools are the pliers and the loopers and cutters, to cut. I have cutters for thin wire, some for real thick wire.
Okay. Okay.
That's hammering,
Okay.
so
I bet you that makes a lot of noise, huh?
yeah, 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 that can be
So now,
that
is
can
there
be,
a technique in your craft that took you a long time to master?
yeah, the crochet and the wire weaving.
Okay.
That took a while to
Is
do.
that like, matter of fact, you guys, I'm wearing a
Yeah,
pair of her earrings right now. So this must be, is this the
yeah,
crochet?
that's the crochet. Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
guys, can you see my earrings?
I can see them. Yeah,
All
I can
right
see them.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love these earrings.
Oh
So
yeah, oh
I
yeah.
own several pieces of her jewelry.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
and so you said the crochet is what takes a long
Yeah,
time.
that took me a while to get the hang of because I was new to crocheting with a yarn
Okay.
from the beginning. And then I thought, wait a minute, I like that kind of free-form filigree look, but how can I do that with wires? So it took a while to
Okay, to
get that
master
down pat.
that.
Yeah.
So now what's your process for troubleshooting when something goes wrong right in mid-design?
Mid-design, just you really have to just improvise. And I find it more challenging when something goes wrong with the wire,
Ah,
with my wire work. And when that happens, it's maybe won't bend a certain way. And I just sit there and say, okay, well, which way are you going to bend
so you start
without the
talking to
least
the wire?
resistance? Yeah, yeah, you have to. I mean, I do, and then because I don't want to go, just take it all apart. I've done that before.
Okay.
But a lot of times you just improvise. There's
Okay.
been times there's one piece that's quite old that starts out with about 10 pieces of wire and it's very long. And you start weaving two or three together and wrapping and whatever. And I did not know how to end it. I had it in my mind how to end it, but I really didn't know how. So I had to just sit and think about it and just
Okay.
let the wire do its thing. So,
Okay. Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
And that's what I was going to ask you. Have you
yeah.
ever had to start completely over?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've
And as
had
an
to.
artist, I mean, because I'm sure there's, you have this like, you know what, you're not working. Let me start all
Yeah,
over.
yeah, I've had that. I've had more problems with bracelets.
Oh, bracelets.
Yeah. And then I also have to think because I sell my work, is this something that I can not necessarily mass produce, but make more than five or six, or make
Oh,
more than one?
oh,
And
okay.
like right now, I'm working on a bracelet. It's beautiful, but there's no way I can make it for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's just I'm a one woman show. So
So
that's
you know what? So your designs, and this is how I've always thought of your work, is that it's unique in
mm.
its own self, so I think one of a kind sometimes works.
Yes. Well, sometimes it's two of a kind, and you're not going to see
Yeah.
yourself, your twin,
Walking around with your
walking
things.
around with my work. Yeah.
Because each time, even if you do make it a second time, it's still different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little different. Yeah, it
Yeah.
always, especially with the thicker wire. And I'm starting to work with thicker copper wire. And boy, that's a challenge. That is a
Okay.
challenge. So
Okay.
I have to make certain decisions.
Well,
Yeah.
see, like this necklace that I have on that matches my earrings.
Hmm.
This is that crochet thing. Can you see
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, that's the crochet.
And then it's got these beautiful little beads
Yeah,
on.
the beads. Yeah.
I love the beads.
Yeah.
And, anyways, I love your
Yeah.
work.
Thanks, thanks.
So now, how does your personal experience or cultural influences shape the pieces that you create?
Um, it's kind of shaped it in the sense that I fell in love with when I was little, I loved rocks. Not to throw at, but just, where they come from. I
Okay.
do that too. But
You
before I
go,
would throw a rocket, it was usually at one of my brothers,
okay.
that type of thing. You know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah, but anyway, I would look at a rock and it seems like nobody would notice rocks. And I
Hmm.
would just look at them like, where did they come from? And what? And so my mom and dad had this atlas, this big atlas. And in the back, there were specimens, photographs of different stones from different parts of the world.
Oh, wow.
And they had names, like calcite, fluorite. And I'm like, wow, this comes from the earth. They dig it up
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
so that just always fascinated me. And when we moved here to San Francisco as I got older and decided I was gonna, make jewelry because to stop smoking,
Right.
um, I just fell in love with crystals and semi-precious gemstones. And
Okay.
I'd go to the crystal fair. They used to have it at Port Mason. Now they have it at different places in the East Bay or whatever.
Right.
But they had specimens of crystals. They had different vendors that would have beads that were already made from crystals that had been
Mm.
grinded down.
So you were
It
like a
was
kid
just,
in a candy
yeah.
store.
Oh man, I would spend so much money. It was ridiculous, ridiculous. So that, and then now with wire, I'm with the copper wire because copper has, I don't have a copper on, but copper has a certain electrical conductivity, and so do gemstones and crystals.
Okay.
So I match those together, like rose quartz, the pink stone. That's the love stone. It's positive, and
Mm,
then
okay.
enhance that with the copper wire. Copper is very electrical and it's very energetic to our body and that type of thing. So that kind of influences my jewelry making. I
Okay.
combine gemstones, semi-precious gemstones with copper or with gold tone wire or silver wire, that type of
Wow. That sounds
thing.
so fascinating,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I just, I make clothes. I never thought about making
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
jewelry.
you do. Yeah.
So, do you think your style will keep evolving, or is there a signature look that you'll always keep?
Oh, yeah, it has to evolve. Yeah. Yeah. Because I look at things that, um, that I made years and years ago, and I wouldn't say progressed, but it has evolved. I work with different mediums, and sometimes I go back to the original with the resin, clay, and
Okay.
that type of thing, making beads. And that came out of necessity. They say necessity is the mother of invention.
Okay.
Well, a lot of times I didn't have, I always had a lot of wire, but sometimes
Okay.
I didn't have the ear hooks. So I'd
Okay.
have to make my own.
Ah,
Sometimes I wanted metal beads and I didn't have them, so I'd make them.
okay.
So yeah, I've evolved from that and now working with heavier wire and doing weaving. I've taken it to another level. I'm more than just a bead stringer. That's what I always say.
Okay. That's what
I
I'm
do
talking
more than
about.
bead stringing. And
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it, but because that's how I started out. But I really work.
You've
I work the
advanced. And so how
metal
long have you been doing this? How long?
a long time. Let's put it like this, several decades.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
And you know what? And the simple fact that you're making your own beads and all of
yeah,
that kind of stuff, I mean,
yeah,
that definitely is
yeah.
craftsmanship. That's skill.
Well,
That's definitely
that's why I'm Artisan Girl. That's why
okay. Absolutely. And then plus it's about a business. You
yeah,
created a business behind it as
yeah,
well,
yeah,
where you have a website where you sell your products.
right.
So, I mean, it's been such a wonderful journey. So
Yeah.
now, if you could go back to the beginning of your journey, what
Mm.
would you tell yourself?
I would tell myself to be, to keep learning, keep observing, because I get inspiration from, I can look at a movie and see not necessarily a piece of jewelry, but
Mhm.
a piece of furniture.
Yeah.
And I like the color combination or the texture of something. And I'm like, oh, I could do that in a piece of,
Yeah. Yeah.
jewelry. So,
Yeah.
I guess I would tell myself to just keep learning and keep observing, just keep watching.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. And then when you were saying that, it just made me think back to you as a an artist
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
your background because you also sew as well, even though you
Yeah.
don't do
Yes.
it anymore, but
Yeah.
you are seamstress as well.
Yeah.
And so you have all of that to pull from.
Mm-hmm.
Your art history,
Yeah.
and I remember
Yeah.
the you fashion illustration. I still have
Yeah.
some of
No.
your artwork,
Yeah. Yeah.
so all of that makes
Yeah.
sense where I can see where you can look at a door and say,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
oh,
I can look
like
at
I'm
it.
looking at the door behind you and looking at those
Mm-hmm.
squares going, okay, I
Yeah.
can see her making some jewelry out of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
artists definitely pull inspiration because I'm like that. You pull inspiration
Uh-huh.
from so many
So
different
many. That's
things,
right. Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
helps you to stay outside of the box.
Mm-hmm. It does. Yeah.
It really does help
It
you stay out
does.
of the box. So
Yeah.
now tell me, who were three people that have inspired you?
I was, first of all, my mother and father, and really just life lessons and just
Mm.
general guidance.
Hmm.
But I remember one time, and I'm gonna try to make this as short as possible. On the back of matches, a book of matches, there used to be little drawings, and they
Oh,
would say, "Can
yes.
you draw this?" And then you would do the drawing, and they would make it like you were going to win something or something
Mhm.
special was going to happen.
Right,
So
right.
I mailed it off, and I did something. I can't remember what the image was. And anyway, the guy called the house, and my mom and dad set up a meeting. So the guy came by, and he was talking about this art school and the art courses to take. So it was money.
Right.
And I could tell my mom was smoking a cigarette, and she kind of looked away because he was excited. I was excited.
Right.
And my dad was just sitting there looking at him. And after a while, my dad said, "You know what? I'm sending three kids to private Catholic schools. We got this big house. I got a car note. It's not in the budget right now." And he could see that I was kind of disappointed, but
Yeah.
not really. But I could see
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
it was just too much. So the guy said, "Oh, okay." So he left. So my mom and dad both said, "You know what? We're going to figure something out." And so what they came up with a few days later, they bought me some pastels. Those are like chalk, different colors, charcoal pencils, an easel, illustration board. And my dad would take me and my brothers to the art museum.
Hmm.
And he talked to I guess it was the guard or whatever, the people
Hmm.
at the art museum, and told them I would be there copying different paintings. And my dad told me, he said, "You know what? Every artist, famous artist, most of them always had apprentices that worked under them. And the way they learned was by copying the masters. And
Absolutely.
that's what you're going to do. So I can't afford to send you anywhere, but this is just as good." So I thought, hey, this is. And so they helped me with that. After that, they kind of was hands off as far as with art.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, she knows how to draw. She does this, and that's it. So I'd say my mom and dad. The third person was a woman. If she walked past me today, I wouldn't know her. I don't know her name, but I met her at a bead store here in San Francisco.
Okay.
And it was so weird because when she came into the bead store, I'd already bought, well, I didn't buy it yet. I was standing in line with a bunch of other people. It was very crowded. And when she walked in, she was smoking a cigarette, very nervous, very jumpy energy.
Hmm.
And she stood near a display case, a big glass display case. And she was moving beads around and dropping stuff, and everybody was kind of looking at her. And most of the clientele there were girls who had their own, bead company or their own jewelry design place or whatever. And they're kind of snooty. But
Right.
anyway, she kept motioning to come here. I want to show you something to each person. And in fact, one of the women standing in front of me kind of turned around and said, "Ooh," like this woman.
Oh.
Because she was kind of, yeah. And you could tell she had probably been drinking, whatever. But anyway, So I kind of turned away, and then I looked at her because she stamped out her cigarette on the floor. And I
Oh,
looked at her and our eyes locked. And she looked at me and she said, "Come here, come here." And something said, "Linda, step out, step out. She's going to show you something." I was there for 3 hours.
oh, wow.
That woman was fabulous. I
Okay.
even had to take notes
Oh,
because
wow.
she showed me design concepts that I still do today.
Okay.
She was very inspirational.
And so did you not keep in touch with her?
No, I did not keep it up because I thought it was going to keep going. And then all of a sudden she said, "Okay, you got it." And then just hit me on my shoulder and left.
Okay. Wow.
And so I had my beads. And by this time, the store was practically empty. So I went up
Okay.
to the cashier, and the cashier was the owner. And she said, "Thank you." And I said, Thank me for what?" She said, "You took the time to listen to her." She said, she's from New York. I've known her for years. She used to have a beautiful boutique,
Oh, okay.
and she made jewelry for very, she had a very exclusive clientele,
Okay.
but she had problems. She had a family tragedy and she started drinking, so it was
Okay.
that type of thing.
Okay. Okay.
And she said, "I am so glad you listened to her." I said, "She was fabulous because she really taught me. I mean, she taught me what buyers are looking for, how to just design concept was just, she was just great."
You know
So
what I
that was my
call
third inspirational person.
that is so beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
What I call that moment that you had with her
Mm-hmm.
is that you were touched by the master.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So
And you are doing that with your grandchildren because one of your granddaughters is being
yeah.
touched by you.
Yeah, yeah. That's Jenna. She and she likes to sew.
Oh, okay. So
And
she's
she
an
likes to
artist.
draw.
So,
And I keep a drawing, which I don't have right with me right now,
okay.
but she did several years ago. And she did a drawing of stairs in a room. And because I'm an artist, the perspective that she did a little tiny composition of perspective, which is the depth. And for her to be that young to
Mm,
understand that, that blew me away.
yeah. And
That
how
blew
old
me
is
away.
she?
She is 11 now.
Okay.
But at that time, she was like about 6.
Wow.
And I'm like, "How did you do?" And she didn't think anything of it.
Of
She
course,
kept saying,
kids,
"Grandma, what is
yeah,
it?" And I'm like,
yeah,
"You have a gift."
yeah. So
Yeah.
now what kind of advice would you give to parents in terms of paying attention if their child show an interest in art like that?
I don't know. Because my parents only that one time to take me to the art museum, and that was like every other Saturday.
Okay.
But other than that, it wasn't much. They didn't really encourage me or discourage me. They knew that I liked to do this. I don't know what I would tell a parent. I guess, let them, if you recognize it, try to nurture it,
Yeah, yeah,
that would be it. That would be
yeah.
it.
Well,
But
that's
I would have drawn regardless. I would have, because my mom says, when I was a toddler, I draw on the walls and draw in books, and
yeah,
it
yeah.
was, yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
was.
remember Tiffany used to walk
Mm,
around with little pieces of paper writing poetry.
see
And
that?
I'd find these little pieces of paper until I ended up
Hmm.
buying her a journal where she could
Yeah,
keep it all in one place because I
one
got
place.
tired of going behind her with
Yes,
all this paper. So
exactly.
so that kind of stuff like that does encourage the kid.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
shows, let them see, okay, my parents see that I
yeah,
have an interest in this.
exactly,
Yeah, because I
exactly.
think that's
Yep.
important that,
Oh yeah,
we do that and
it
pass it up
is.
the time.
It
So yeah,
is.
so this is really fascinating. Now, do you have any pieces of jewelry right now that other than what you have on,
No,
not close by? Okay.
not close by. I guess I could. Uh, Wait a minute.
Because I know you got a house full of
Oh, I
jewelry.
have, yeah, this wall is full of it.
Right, that's what I'm looking at behind.
Yeah, let's see.
And I was gonna wear that beautiful bracelet that you got me, but it didn't go with what I have on, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is
Oh, wow.
now this all of these are very old
Hold
because
it
they're
up a
on
little
my
bit
wall.
higher. Hold it up a little higher. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now that's that chain around the pendant.
Uh-huh.
That's from Francis, our grandmother's bag of jewelry
Is
that your
that
mom
right?
gave me.
Okay.
Your
Okay.
mom sent me a big bag of jewelry.
Uh-huh.
and, uh, and these are turquoise beads.
Okay.
And this chain is a weaving technique that I do. And
Okay.
so I made the chain. I made
Wow.
the chain and I made the pendant. This is
Oh,
the
okay.
resin clay.
Okay.
And this is just made with stamping and poking holes in it and
Okay.
you know
But that's
just to
your
get the
process. Oh,
texture.
wow. Okay.
Now this is the phase that I was going through with the weaving the
Oh, wow. Look at
yeah, and
that.
this is a silver tone and gold tone wire.
And that's a crystal in the middle, right?
Yeah, that's a crystal in the middle.
Okay.
And the light pink is the rose quartz.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this is the one that I had problems with. Wait a minute. Hang on, where
Oh,
did it
wow.
go?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that starts out with about 10 pieces of wire going every which way. I mean, you have to be very patient to make this. So this is just a one of
Wow.
a kind.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Wow.
that's just an agate bead in the middle. And
Okay.
then these light green ones are sea glass.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah,
Such fascinating work,
yeah,
my
yeah.
dear.
I enjoy it. I like it.
So, Linda, thank you for sharing your incredible journey.
Well, thank you.
You know, don't just stop and listen, you guys. Go see Linda's work for yourself. Each piece tells a story, and one of them must be waiting to tell yours. Visit her website. She's at ninarossdesigns.indiemade.com/store. And I'll actually have that on the
Oh,
website when
okay.
it's posted. And
Mm-hmm.
explore her designs that go beyond ordinary bead stringing, okay?
Yes,
On Straight Talking with Kelly, the best moments come from unexpected stories like this one. Thank you for taking out the time to watch, comment. I love hearing from you. I do my best to answer as many questions as I possibly can. So keep listening, keep watching, and come back, okay? And have a great day. Thank you again.
you're welcome.